the mental plane. Just as the physical body has the earthly plane and the astral body or soul has the astral plane, so has the spirit his own plane. The mental sphere or mental plane, spirit, can at times be interchanged with a mind. This sphere is the sphere of the spirit with all its energies or powers. Both spheres, the material as well as the astral, came into being through the four elements which came out of the akasha or causal principle of the appropriate sphere. The mental sphere is founded on the same basis, it too came forth from the akasha principle of the spirit. The spirit forms within himself a tetrapolar magnet through appropriate work, and shows outwardly an electromagnetic fluid analogous to the astral body as a result of the activities of the elements as effects relevant to their polarity. That is how the mental body behaves in the mental or spiritual sphere. Just as the astral body forms an astral matrix through the electromagnetic fluid of the astral world, the so-called astral OD, that is how the electromagnetic fluid of the mental world forms a mental matrix that binds the mental body to the astral body. The mental matrix or the mental OD, the so-called mental substance, is the most subtle form of the akasha. It regulates and maintains the activity of the spirit in the astral body. As mentioned before, this mental substance is at the same time electromagnetic and serves as a conduit of thoughts and ideas to the consciousness of the spirit. This mental substance sets the consciousness into motion by means of the astral and physical bodies. Therefore, the mental matrix or the mental OD with its bipolar fluid is the subtlest substance that we can imagine in the physical body. The mental sphere is at the same time the sphere of thoughts, which have their origin in the world of ideas, in the akasha of the spirit. Each thought is preceded by a basic idea which in accordance with its attribute takes on a particular form and reaches the consciousness of the I, as a thought form or a plastic picture through the ether principle, or in other words through the mental matrix. Therefore, a human being is not the originator of his own thoughts, instead the source of every thought is to be found in the highest spheres in the akasha or mental sphere. The spirit of a human being is, so to speak, the receiver. He is the antenna for the thoughts that come from the world of ideas in accordance with the position and situation in which he finds himself. Since the world of ideas is the all in all, we may therefore say that every new thought, every new invention, in short everything that human beings believe they have created through their own ingenuity, has been taken out of this world of ideas. Taking these new ideas out of the world of ideas depends upon the attitude and maturity of the spirit. Each thought has within itself a completely pure element, especially when the thought contains abstract ideas. Should there be several combinations from the world of ideas present within that thought, then there are several elements effective among each other in their form as well as in their emanation. Only abstract thoughts have pure elements and pure polar emanations, because they originate directly from the causal world of an idea. On the basis of this knowledge you can gather that there are pure electric, pure magnetic, indifferent, and neutral thoughts as far as their effects are concerned in existence. In the mental sphere every thought has its own form, color, and emanation, vibration, in accordance with its idea. The thought reaches the consciousness through the tetrapolar magnet of the spirit and is transmitted by this magnet until it becomes reality. Everything created in the physical world has its cause through the thought and the consciousness of the spirit in the world of ideas and of course also its reflection. If you are not dealing directly with an abstract idea, then several forms of thoughts can be expressed. These thoughts are either electric, magnetic, or electromagnetic. It always depends upon what kind of elemental attribute is present in the thought. The physical or material plane is bound to time and space. The astral plane, the sphere of the transitory or transformable spirit, is bound to space. The mental sphere is spaceless and timeless. The same applies to all attributes of the spirit. However, through the connecting link of the mental and astral matrices, which are bound in their total form to time and space, the mental body requires a certain amount of time to become conscious of the perception of a thought. The train of thought is different with everyone because it depends upon the maturity of the spirit. The more mature and more spiritually developed a person is, the faster the thoughts form in the spirit, mind. Just as the astral plane has its inhabitants, so does the mental plane. Besides the thought forms, it is inhabited above all by departed human beings whose astral bodies have dissolved through the elements as a result of their maturity and who, in accordance with their degree of perfection, have been assigned their abode in the region of the mental sphere that is appropriate and analogous to them. Besides that, the mental sphere is also the sphere of elementals. These are beings that were created either knowingly or unknowingly by individuals through repeated intensive thinking. An elemental being does not possess the density to form or assume for itself an astral shell. It therefore has its effect in the spiritual sphere. The difference between a thought form and an elemental is that the thought form has one or more ideas as its basis. The elemental, however, is endowed with a certain amount of consciousness and therefore with the instinct for self-preservation, but otherwise it does not distinguish itself by much from other mental living beings. It can even have the same form as the thought form. Initiates avail themselves quite often of these elemental beings. In the practical part of this book, a detailed account is given of how such an elemental is created, maintained, and how it can be employed for particular tasks. Much more could be said about the mental sphere, especially about the particular specific attributes of the individual beings, but this should suffice as a stimulus to work with and as a rough outline in regards to the explanations given about the mental plane.